Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reading once again the literary masterpiece that is the Cube book, which I wrote a year ago when I was obsessed with cubes with legs. As you can see, I put it on a Google slideshow, and last episode I gave some context for what is even going on. So if you want to watch that, I also went over these slides in that video. But today we are going to be reading pages 9 through 20 of this literary masterpiece. You can skip around the video if you want. You don't have to watch it chronologically, because there's gonna be a lot that discussing and stuff like that. And subscribe, and I'll hopefully get some more videos out this week. But yeah, I mean that's just about it. The first one we got here, this is page 9, is the tank/armored cube, and which is common. The armored cube is another subspecies of standard cube that is slightly larger than it and is much heavier and much stronger. The cube, however, is slow and dumb and can easily be manipulated by hostile cubes and can be brainwashed into warfare, in effect serving as a tank, hence the name. When not brainwashed, though, the armored cube is friendly and they enjoy their time wandering on distant planets. So the location of this thing right here is Planet Q, Planet A, and some common dimensions. Alright, let's move on. Alright, here we got the origin of the cubes. I didn't really explain this a lot in the last video, but you know, it's important for context. Here's a picture of me actually writing it. Basically what happened is the crab of creation originally had 11 rhombi-dodecahedrons of power. 8 of them still reside within his possession. 1 was stolen by the ancients to give them their power millennia ago. 1 was lost to the void, and the 11th rhombi-dodecahedron split into 4 parts: cube, legman, the Pacific Ocean, and the scraunching blade, the most powerful weapon in the universe. The cube was the first cube ever to exist, and he formed the language of cube tongue. Cube did not have any legs, but soon sprouted them as he grew in power. Cube used to be a part of the Council of Ancients, as shown in this picture, where he was granted the power of duplication, in which he created another cube to continue the species. Their offspring was not much like today's cubes, but I can't speak. I can't do it. But it was a direct ancestor of the standard cube of modern times. Other polygonal entities, which are not classified as cubes but are still in here because they're funny. Alright, the sphere boy. Spheres are a very rare species that are sometimes birthed from white dwarf stars. They have 3 legs, but not much else is known about them. Here we got the cylinder boy. The cylinder boy is a hostile creature that went extinct millions of years ago, but there have been rumored sightings of him. He's closely related to spheres. And then right here we got the octagonal prism. The octagonal prism is an 8-sided figure that commonly appears in dimensional rifts due to dimensional imbalances. The result is this weird hybrid. Here we got a pyramid. Pyramids can sometimes be found on desert planets, and they love warm climate, and they are a master of camouflage in their desert environment. Since they consume hostile cubes, they are a good pest control, but not much else is known about them since they're still pretty rare. We have a metallic cube, which is common. The metallic cube is a very widespread variant of cube. Not unlike the armored cube, it has high defense. This is due to its metallic skin, right here, which is almost unbreakable. Unlike armored cubes, their intelligence is higher, so they can't be taken advantage of by cube monsters. However, the heavy weight of the metallic cube makes transcending difficult. The metallic cube usually lives in rocky terrain, but they also enjoy water, creating a spectacle when the sun and water reflects off their metallic skin. Locations would be cave dimensions, lakes, suburbs, and some common dimensions. There's a picture of it right here. Right here we got the hollowed cube, which is rare. The hollowed cube is a cube with a rough exoskeleton on it that defines it. However, its exoskeleton is not very strong or stable. which makes the hollowed cube fragile and vulnerable. This species is dying, though, since many of the hollowed cubes are vulnerable because of their thin bones. Because of their almost lightweight body, however, they are some of the quickest transcenders, reaching up to 9 speeds. Locations of this cube would be some common dimensions, abandoned buildings and realms, and yep, that's pretty much it. How cubes transcend continues. So a transcendent would be a being who has mastered the art of transcending through space and time, and then transcendence is simply the art of transcending. Only a few cubes have mastered the art of transcending, as it is a long and difficult process and most cannot reach it. Practice makes perfect, as the more a cube transcends, the better it is at it. Most cubes start off only being able to transcend a few dimensions away at a time, but it extends, I spelled that wrong, it expends lots of energy. With years of practice, they can expend less energy while going longer distances. Now here, we got some dangers of transcending. If a cube transcends too rapidly and too often, then there is a chance that a portal to the void will appear and they will get sucked in. So, to make sure this doesn't happen, make sure that you carry void repellent on you when you're transcending, because you don't want to get sucked into the void. This is very important. All right, moving on. Here we have the spring cube, which is super rare and also exotic. The spring cube is a super rare cube that wields a spring-like bottom that it uses to travel across planets with zero gravity. It uses its antenna as a radar or metal detector to find valuable food or sellable items underground. It sells these items at pawn shops. Since the spring cube does not have legs, it has trouble moving away quickly from enemies or predators. Location: some planets with zero gravity and cold climates. Now, if you're wondering why there is an onion here, that's the reason. Because I think when I drew this in the actual original cube book in my little notebook, somebody in school helped me draw it, and the antenna that they drew on this spring cube was just obscene. So that's why I had to put an onion here. Yep, onion. Then here we have the microcube, which is also common. And the microcube is a tiny version of the standard cube right here that is common in most realms. Because of their size, they can fit into small spaces easily, and they are used by rival nations or galactic empires to spy and eavesdrop. They are also quick and hard to catch, but the microcube is still very vulnerable due to its low HP, so they usually live in colonies to protect themselves. They build burrows in the ground that can support hundreds of cubes. So the location would be any populated area, planets, starships, anywhere where intelligent beings are thriving. They're kind of like rats, but they're also like ants. Yeah, they're pretty much just ants. So we have here the microcube colonies. Microcubes build burrows underground to live in, where it is essentially a bee or ant colony. The smaller microcubes serve under a queen, which is right here. The queen makes the offspring or larvae microcubes to work for the rest of the colony, which is right here. All burrows, which is right here, this is the drawing I made in my little notebook a year ago. All burrows have more than one exit so that they can escape an emergency. When the queen dies, which is right here, a random offspring will be born as a new queen for the colony. Here we have cube language 2. Cubes first began writing down words around 20,000 years after the first cube appeared. Their texts were simple then, with short phrases like A. In modern times, the language is more complex, with confusing words like A. More cube tongue variants. Void cube tongue, which is a language only spoken by void cubes, cube monsters, and other hostile cubes. And there it is right there. Then there's the legendary cube tongue, another dead cube language spoken by the ancient cube lords of long ago. And it's right there. Here's cube tongue punctuation, which I wrote down there. But unfortunately, I'm sorry. I wish I could have put this passage in here, but unfortunately, it's not real. And then here, adding on to that last slide, we have cube language 3. So basically, the cube alphabet, there are 52 letters in standard cube tongue. Though in cube tongue variants, the number varies. In ancient cube tongue, there were only 40 letters, while in void cubish, there were almost 70 characters. So here's the alphabet of standard cube tongue. As you can see, there's a very diverse mix of letters here, so that makes the language especially interesting. Anyways, the language of the cubes is hard to learn and understand for non-cuboid entities. Some cubes or translator cubes have developed vocal cords in order to learn the common languages, which is void tongue, English, and this. They work as translators so normal entities can understand cubes. A job as a cube translator is generally a highly favored job in society. And then here on page 20, we got the Daddylonglegs, which is rare and also hostile. Most life forms assume that the Daddylonglegs cube was named after the spider. This is wrong. The spider was named after the cube. This cube is a giant cube that has very long legs. It is very fast and it has small mandibles, which define it as a hostile cube. While not originating from the void, these cubes are still very dangerous. Stay away at all costs. He prowls in the night, footsteps echoing through the streets. The location would be abandoned in invaded dimensions, dust clouds, and right behind you. And here's a picture of it. Alright, that's going to be it for this video.